In terms of what the IDF might be able to do in terms of escalation going forward, the first thing that people need to recognize about the 21-point plan is that however it may be presented, the plan would be best described as Israel's list of acceptable terms for the total surrender of Hamas and the end of their reign inside the Gaza Strip. Remember, it calls for them to be demilitarized, it calls for the population to be de-radicalized, it calls for the total disarming of Hamas. It explicitly states that Hamas can have no role in the governance of the Gaza Strip in the future. And those are just a few of the points that are worthy of note. And incidentally, you can see that this plan was crafted with a significant amount of Israeli in-point at its core. The best indicator of that is clause 17, in my opinion, where the plan states the following. It says, if Hamas delays or rejects this proposal, the above points will proceed in terror-free areas, which the IDF will gradually hand over to the International Stabilization Force. End quote. It makes no mention at all about what will be permitted to occur if Israel rejects the proposal, which obviously denotes that at its heart, this is something of an Israeli proposal, not thoroughly, but to a very large degree. Now, most significantly of all, in terms of what the IDF might be able to do in the event that Hamas rejects the plan, it's interesting to keep in mind that the White House released a map that delineated the points to which the IDF would be expected to ultimately withdraw if the plan is implemented, if the vision is realized, if you like. Now, that withdrawal is only to the point of a permanent security perimeter that is now held by the IDF and that most importantly is inside Gazan territory. It's not on the Israeli side of the fence. And that runs, that perimeter, from the north to the east and all along the south of the Gaza Strip. Now that, bottom line, all of the flowery language put to one side, that is tantamount to the conquest and the holding of land inside Gaza as a consequence of a defensive war that the IDF was forced to wage after the atrocities of October the 7th. That perimeter, in my estimation, will be permanent. And remember that this plan has very broad backing from states that include Qatar, Turkey, Egypt, and the UAE. And that means that all of those aforementioned states will be ready to accept the loss of Gazan territory if the plan does indeed take shape. Now, if Hamas reject this plan, I believe you'll likely see the taking of more ground with more permanence. The agreement is a surrender agreement in the case that Israel's terms are agreed to, and I believe that if they are not agreed to, you will see the IDF holding more ground, a precedent that is set by this perimeter.